Hi, and welcome to Albuquerque Real Estate Talk with Tracy and Tego Venturi, the Venturi Group, a real broker here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and talking about real estate on the radio and podcast for almost 10 years now, Tracy, doing a weekly show, do a half hour about real estate, and there's always something to talk about.
Well, and that's our life, right? We talk real estate day and night, so it's always fun to get together and just chat on the podcast, on the radio, and share knowledge and answer questions from our listeners. We really appreciate all of you that listen. Obviously, got to tell you how to reach us here at Real Broker. Easiest way is just give us a call, 448-8888. You can even text us there if you want. Or, our website, welcomehomeabq.com. Tons of info there. Tego, you've done such a great job keeping our website being relevant for buyers and sellers and just people who want to know about the market, right?
I have realtors come up to me and go, yeah, I go to your website all the time to get the latest market data because you have it all there. So I'm happy to do it.
I know you love that. That's a passion, and you want it to be shared, and you want the realtor community to use it. The other things on there, there's tons of links to seller guides, buyer guides, information about, what to expect, and just helping people get up to speed on real estate and not just have to rely on us telling you, right? There's a lot of resources out there. So feel free to use that, reach out, let us know how we can help. Let us know what questions you have. We always love to answer questions on the radio show here.
Yep.
And we've got a lot of fun things to talk about today.
We do. It was actually a full week, Tracy. You and I were in Phoenix for a real estate event, and I want to just share some of the things that we learned there. And along with that, just kind of what's going on in the housing market this week. A question came up about solar, photovoltaic, power generation systems on homes and some of the challenges there with determining how much value or does it add value to a home.
And just the implications of transferring solar, whether you own it or lease it. So we'll get into that.
Yep, for sure. We had this list that I thought was great. Unfortunately, it's not a positive, but we're going to do it anyway, which is 7 home buyer regrets, Tracy. But first and foremost, more reality real estate shows.
Hey, reality TV is where it's at, right? It's the thing. And so what's interesting is, I didn't even know. I wish I would have. You should have told me, Tego, that there was this whole Zillow thing, right? That's been a thread on Twitter.
And Instagram. It's called Zillow Gone Wild, and they post homes and unusual homes. And I remember they posted one time where somebody had it decorated like a Halloween haunted mansion, but it was that way year round.
Right.
They just lived in the house that way, and just unique homes and stuff like that they post.
So once you mentioned this to me, of course, I had to look at it. And there's one that the outside looks like a plain old box in the Midwest of a 2-story house, not even farmhouse, just a really plain house. Inside is all Barbie, and that's year round too. So so there's a TV show that's going to be coming out next year on HGTV called Zillow Gone Wild, 3 Things Agents Couldn't Learn from HGTV's next real estate show. Bam.
And then there's another one coming out.
I can't say this one.
Yeah, well, but look at the name of it.
I know, that's what I said.
It's no.
Bam, the key to surviving real estate.
No, not that. The actual it was selling Beverly Hills.
Selling Sunset.
And so it's like they're just doing Selling Sunset. Now they're doing
Buying Beverly Hills.
Oh, Buying Beverly Hills. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a Los Angeles, but Buying Beverly Hills sounds better than Buying Los Angeles, right?
I just want to say something. Anybody that watches those shows, that's not how real estate is done.
No, those are reality. We used to have an agent on our team, Amy, who worked in New York City at the office where Selling New York.
Well, they're not reality.
No. Well, no, they're not reality. They're made up.
Yeah.
But she worked in the office where they did what's it called? The New York one.
Yeah. Anyway.
Where Ryan Serhant and So she worked in that office while they were filming a lot of those shows before she came and joined us. And she was like, they'd have me sit at the table and shake my head or be a buyer and say things that were controversial. And they would feed them the lines of what to say to each other. And we all know that. We watch, not that I've watched many of those shows, but when we see those shows, we know that they're saying things that as a real estate professional we would never say, because they're speaking for clients. They get up from a coffee with another realtor and they say, my client will take 2,500,000 and nothing else, blah blah blah, and they come back to the table and say, we have a deal. And it's like, it does not happen like that. And the way they talk to each other, I mean, it's made for TV. So we have more made for TV coming up about real estate that'll teach people that that's really not how it is, or if they think it is that way, it's not really. But
it's good drama. There is a fair amount of drama in our business, and it's an emotionally charged transaction usually for most people, both buying and selling. Emotionally, in the sense that it's a big life change, both times. Either buying or selling.
Yeah.
And so there is drama is maybe not the right word, but you know what I mean. There's a lot going on for people, and we really recognize that.
We do, and we think of ourselves. I mean, we're really transaction specialists. We're facilitators. We're counselors. We're help people with their what they want and getting them taken care of. And it's very rewarding to be a part of that. And part of our joy in life is to be a part of it and help people realize the dream of home ownership, or moving up into a home that fits you, or getting the right place for your tribe, or helping you sell to get to the next place. It's an awesome privilege what we do. And speaking of that, if you're thinking of getting into real estate, or you're in real estate and you're thinking of making a change, call us. Let's talk. We can tell you what it's like to really be a realtor, not what you see on TV, and see if it's the right career path for you. We do have an opening in the office right now. So give us a call if you're interested in that too. We can have you talk with Jen or Belinda. We have a director of development, Jen Hernandez. She's awesome. That's a great mentor for people to really get started in real estate. And we also have a director of operations. If you're already in real estate, Belinda Franco, who's amazing as a leader to support you if you're thinking of making a change. Let's talk. I know that wasn't on the agenda, but speaking of careers in real estate,
it
just
for sure
seemed natural.
Yeah. Okay. Housing market this week.
Data? Are we going to data?
I wanted to talk about this event we were at, Tracy, here in Phoenix, and it was a gathering of a lot of the top real estate teams from around the country. And we love these events where we can connect with other people that are doing things really well, mastermind, share ideas.
It's like team owners, team leaders, but there were team members there, but a lot of the people are the ones that are really running big real estate organizations.
Yeah. The takeaway that I got from that, just talking about the national housing market, was most markets are experiencing what we're experiencing here in Albuquerque, which is limited number of homes on the market, low supply, challenges with affordability, which we're experiencing here, meaning we've got higher interest rates, and prices have gone up a lot, so there's some affordability challenge, and that's just about everywhere. And it doesn't seem like there's going to be any break in that anytime soon. When they had one of the big brain people from Goldman Sachs that does housing analysis there, and talking about what they're seeing. And there's just, right now we're just in this very low supply. It doesn't seem like it's going to change. There's certain areas and certain markets in the country where home prices have come back, but that's very limited. Most places around the country, home prices have continued to go up because of the limited supply.
And even in some places like Phoenix, where we were for this 3-day conference, prices did pull back a bit, but they are on the uptick again. I read a long report while we were there about year over year, and things are moving positive on home prices again.
Yeah.
So they're not down significantly like a lot of people thought they would be.
The one of the bigger negatives, was the interest rates. There doesn't seem to be any break in the higher mortgage rates that we have right now. And that's partly because the economy is strong.
Right. And so what that means is we don't expect, they said probably for 2 years, for interest rates to change significantly. Come here, my real estate dog. Come here. So we're doing our podcast and the dog's on the floor sleeping, of course. So, pretty common these days, right? Anyway, so with interest rates not expected to change significantly, and we've been hearing that for a long time. Everybody was optimistic by the end of this year we'd be back under 6. Instead, it's not happening because the economy's strong. So when we talk about that for people who want to be a home buyer, don't wait. Prices are still going up. Go ahead and lock in your home price with whatever interest rate there is now, if it makes sense for you. And if they go down in a year or two, there is the opportunity to refinance, but you've locked in your home price.
I would say it this way: if home ownership is in your future and you're not a homeowner now, there's nothing on the horizon that says there's a good reason to wait.
Right.
And we see that, right? We have a lot of, the thing that's interesting about the market right now is we have low supply and low demand, and yet home prices continue to go up because we have such low supply and limited number of homes on the market. So.
Right. So a lot of really great conversations were at that conference. And honestly, I wish a lot of business owners from Albuquerque could experience that. I wish that was here and we could invite small business owners and leaders in our market, because a lot of what they did, it's very forward thinking in my mind. We weren't talking about real estate a lot of the time, right? Yeah, we had some Goldman Sachs and we had some people, but the professionals that they brought on stage, and it was like every 20 minutes practically either a new panel or a new speaker, except for some of the main keynote people. But it was a lot of mindset and a lot of big vision and entrepreneurship and managing yourself, and just really great stuff to hear. And there were 7 of us from our real estate office there. So, Phoenix is a close place to go for a conference or convention. And it was really awesome because at the end of each day, the 7 of us would be together and just going, what were your takeaways? Oh my gosh, it was so good. I wish I could share it with the world, but we're reinvigorated for sure. Anyway,
yeah. No, it was great. It's good. And I think anybody out there that's attended and participated in any type of mastermind event, it's always good to surround yourself with people that are doing things differently, agree or disagree, and just see what they're doing and see what's working for people. So,
and it's always good to get away from your office and do something different and get a different perspective and come back with some fresh, just feeling reinvigorated to your career.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this is
show our dog now.
I know he keeps barking because we're in our little studio in our office here on Alameda, and
he says,
people. Yeah, there's people coming and going from our office, so he's got to go see him. Okay, Tracy.
So,
next topic.
Yes.
Solar.
Okay, let's go there.
Photovoltaic solar, which is, power generation. A lot of times we say solar, and, obviously solar means a lot of stuff. But in this case, we're talking about, solar power systems that generate electricity for your home. And there's
a lot of ways to get solar for your home.
Correct.
A lot of different methods to finance, purchase.
Yeah, in the financing. So the finance. So this may sound negative about solar, but I want to be clear. It's not the technology itself. It's the financing vehicles that do create some problems for homeowners, especially when they go to sell. So what I want to bring up is there's a couple. Basically, you could buy a solar system, put it on your house, and that's great. And if you do that, an appraiser can give value to that when you sell. Now there's some debate on that, and I don't want to go down that road right now.
No, I'm just going to say,
okay.
All I was going to say is, most people that choose to buy a solar system for their home know that they're probably not going to live long enough to, what they would have spent.
See, I disagree with you. I don't think that's true.
Or have their home long enough maybe for the value of what they're offsetting every month versus what they paid for solar, which it's gotten more affordable.
You just got to do the math, and there's tax incentives. There's a lot of good that's why I'm trying to be really careful here, because I don't want to be negative on solar. So there's a lot of good reasons to have solar, right? And yes, you have to look at, the cost versus the benefit versus, how much you're going to save over time and all that stuff.
And sometimes it's just you want to be participating in having solar. You like being able to run the AC at whatever you want and not worry that your bill's going to be $900 or something ridiculous because your solar is taking care of it.
Yeah. So back to the different, types of ownership. So one, you can just buy it, you own it, right? That's fine. And that would give value to the home. Consider, if the appraiser can justify that. You can finance it as part of your entire mortgage too. It's unusual, but that's part of it. And in that case, if it's part of the property, you can, again, the appraiser can give value to it. Where it gets tricky is if there's outside financing. So let's say you purchase a system and you get just like a traditional loan, let's say, right? You just get a loan for it and you're paying it off over time.
So you're saying I purchased this solar.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk to homeowners, they say, yes, I own it. It's an owned system.
Right. It's owned, but yet there is a outside debt against that.
Right.
That system. In that case, an appraiser cannot consider that value because now it's actually a liability against the property because that new owner is going to have to assume that, or the current owner, when they sell, has to pay it off. And the other system is the leased system. And that's the one that creates the bigger challenges when transferring of ownership. Because if you, as a homeowner, buy one of these systems and you're leasing it and the numbers look great and your monthly payment's lower and all that, that's fine. But when you go to sell, that new buyer now has to assume that lease. And that is going to limit your pool of people that may want that property. So you just have to consider that when you're looking at these solar power systems. And in those situations, the leased solar systems, that Fannie Mae guidelines, which I'm looking at right here, who basically writes a guideline appraisal, they cannot add value. They do not add value. In fact, Fannie Mae specifically says to appraisers, you cannot give value to something that's leased, a solar system that is leased on the house.
And that's come up a few times recently where it's thought that you can. And so to be really clear that you can't. And if somebody's going to buy a home with what we call owned, but with a loan solar, right? Because we've got to be really clear that even if it's leased solar versus owned solar with a loan on it, the person buying the home, if they're getting a loan on it, they may have to qualify for the mortgage as well as the cost of that debt.
Yep. 100%.
So sometimes we've seen people not qualify. They're right on the edge of being able to qualify for the house, but the solar puts them over because of the monthly payment added on.
The thing that's kind of too bad about that is, you're basically, you have to qualify for this lease payment for this solar power system, and you have to include that in your debt to income ratio when you're doing a mortgage.
So it's already considered.
But if you're buying a house and you got to pay a utility bill, you don't have to consider it.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's like it's unfortunate because usually it's about a wash. In fact, usually the solar is probably a savings.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting point, Tego.
Yeah.
We've thought of that before, but I hadn't thought of it recently.
The thing is, if you're looking at a solar system for your home, you don't have one now, talk to a lot of different companies and look at all these different financing vehicles, because the financing part of it is where it gets tricky and can create some problems when you sell the property. And
when you sell the property with that type of solar, we have heard, and I don't have any hard facts on it, but that it takes a little bit longer. I know for us, it takes a little bit longer to find the right buyer that's willing to take over the solar contract.
Yeah.
And it takes a little longer too, because we have to get the paperwork from the solar company and facilitate a transfer from one owner to another. And they will pull credit probably, right? To make sure that this new person taking over the contract can afford to pay for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just more stuff for us to do.
Yeah. Well,
to complicate it.
It is selling and buying homes is complicated,
It is.
and that's why
Seems
we're
like it
here to
gets more
help.
complicated every year too, but that's a
It,
whole nother conversation.
yeah.
Okay, Tracy, I want to talk about assumable mortgages.
Okay.
Because in the real estate press that I follow, the real estate, housing economist, housing world bubble, there was a big story this week because a company launched called Rome. And what they do is they help home buyers identify properties that have an assumable mortgage, and then they help them qualify for these properties. And so let's just define what assumable mortgage is. Assumable meaning you basically take over the existing mortgage on the home. FHA loans, VA loans, and USDA loans, for the most part, are assumable with qualifying.
Right.
And so now, as a buyer, you have to basically go to the existing mortgage company and facilitate basically taking on that mortgage. You have to reapply and qualify for that mortgage. And that's what this company helps people do.
I wonder what the success rate is on that Tego, because what we know is when somebody has a very low interest rate, the company that has that loan, it's in their best interest to not let that loan get assumed and get that money available again.
However, if they lose that loan, if that loan gets paid off, they're probably not going to get it again. Chances, the odds are that that same company isn't going to get a new mortgage. And so, well, you just mentioned it. So the advantage here is somebody bought a home in, let's say, second half of 2020, 2021, first half of 22, they're probably sitting on a, 3-ish mortgage rate, right? Just depending, when they bought 3 to 4, right? But probably sub 4, compared to today, 7.5, that could be a huge savings for a buyer.
Yeah. I would love to see how this program works and make sure it works, because it sounds like a lot of
So this
due
is
diligence, hard work to make it happen.
So this is the elephant in the room on this.
Okay.
Is people that bought a home in 2020, 2021, even if they put a low down payment like a 3.5% FHA, they probably have a pretty good chunk of equity right now because home prices have gone up so much.
Right.
So that means that buyer that's assuming that, let's say they bought the house for $250,000. Now the house is worth $350,000, which wouldn't be totally unrealistic. Maybe not that much.
Just say 300.
Okay, 300.
Makes me feel
so there's
better.
50,000. Well, okay, that's fine. They can assume that whatever the balance is on that original
Let's say
loan,
it's,
but they're going to have to bring, let's say, $70,000 to close. How many people
Right.
actually have that?
right. Because the difference in what the house is now worth versus what the loan amount is
Correct.
down to
Correct.
is what that you're not going to go get a second on that to be able to have 2 loans to buy the house.
Well, you can, but that's a whole nother challenge.
And who wants to? There's not a
and-
lot of lenders who will even do a mortgage of a loan less than $100,000.
And you can't do a seller carryback, which
Right.
I'm using lingo now, but basically where the seller
So it's,
would carry the financing on that difference.
it sounds good, and people will call and say, yeah, I want to assume a mortgage. But even the VAs that have been assumable, and we know that,
Yeah.
most of the how you do that, it's not feasible in most cases, and that's part of it.
Well, it's an interesting conversation, and it's good that there are some creative thoughts out there on dealing with some of the affordability challenges we have in the real estate market. And
Yeah.
we definitely do. And speaking of mortgages, I saw this chart and I just wanted to share it because it's this whole idea. It's like how many, Tracy, we've been talking about like people aren't putting their homes on the market as much, right? They're not listing their homes for sale. They're not moving as often. And here's one of the reasons is as of July 2023, let's see, of all the mortgages, only 9%, this is of all the homes that are mortgaged, only 9% of them have an interest rate 6 and above. So that's just
Wow.
people that have bought in the last, let's say, 10 months or so, 12
Mhm.
months. Most people, large percentage have a mortgage under 4%. So it's really difficult for somebody with a 3% mortgage to go and take on, that 7.5% mortgage.
Yeah. Interesting.
But there are also a lot of free and clear properties out there too.
Boy, there are. I can't remember the number. It seems like it was like 40% or something really high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, Tracy. We also had this story here. It came out in the Albuquerque Business First about Westway Homes.
Oh, yeah.
They're launching a new community on the I'm going to say west side, but it's Rio Rancho near
Broadmoor and Northern.
Yeah, it's like Rust.
Just north of the Lowe's there.
Yeah, it's Oh no! This one's near Los Diamantes. I'm sorry, I thought you had the story. So, I yeah. But so anyway, it was in the Albuquerque Business First, and it's doing 100 home subdivision by Westway Homes. This is one of our local home builders, home production builders. They do a great job, and so that is good. We do have some more homes in the new construction phase.
Great for Westway Homes. Good
coming
job.
in. Yeah, for sure.
I know there's several new home neighborhoods going up, Pulte, D.R. Horton, and Twilight, several builders, Abrazo, they're all working on more new homes and more new home neighborhoods. And actually, there's quite a few really great homes on the market right now, brand new construction available to move into within 30 days even. I saw one, Richmond, America.
Yeah.
Chris over there sent me one of the houses that they have available right now, and they have a special 4.99% interest rate on it this weekend only. So if this house matches your needs, call me right now. It's a really large, I should find it, home, but it also has an RV garage as a part of the garages. And it's in Rio Rancho.
Is it Mariposa or is it?
I'm not positive.
Okay.
But I have it's a beautiful home. But I don't have all the details, unfortunately.
Okay, then I'll just talk while you're looking for it.
Well, I found the email, but I went, wow.
Okay, as before we run out of time here, I did want to say one thing that I've been wrong about.
Oh, Tego, let me get my video camera.
Yeah, I know,
oh, wait, we're on video.
I'm wrong. No. Talking about home inventory in Albuquerque, the number of homes on the market, I've been saying usually this time of year we start to see a decrease in the number of homes on the market, but it's actually grown a little bit over the last couple 3 weeks, and I think a lot of that has to do with the mortgage rates. It's really tough right now. Mortgage rates are at almost a really, really high point, from the last, let's say, 15, 20 years, and
that's great.
It's really challenging people.
Yeah, it's good to have a few more on the market. So Richmond American Homes in Rio Rancho, and I'm not sure which Rio Rancho neighborhood, this weekend only has a 4.99% 30-year fixed interest rate on their houses that are done, ready to go, ready to close in 30 or 45 days.
Wow.
And if you have a lower down payment that might not qualify for the 4.99, they have a 5.25% interest rate this weekend only also. So this home that I was looking at, it's got a man cave, RV garage, lots of storage, big, beautiful home in Rio Rancho. So, and they're offering some really nice incentives on that home. So if you're looking for new construction, call us. We have several people on our team who really specialize in new construction. I love to show new homes, getting people with the energy efficiencies they're building today.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that probably for the first 10 or 15 years, you're not going to have huge maintenance costs and big things break. Can really be a benefit. So much to talk about, Tego.
I know. And it's interesting because we do see more new construction homes as a total mix of homes on the market right now.
Right.
Actually, it's probably as high as we've ever seen because the resale homes, the number of homes is very low for the reasons we just talked about. And, new construction, there are more to choose from.
So before we say goodbye, we have quite a few open houses this weekend. Many around the whole city, different prices. If you're interested in seeing some open houses, you can call us. We can give you the scoop, or get on our website, welcomehomeabq.com. We have an open house link that showcases every open house, not just Venturi Realties, but we do have quite a few of our brand new homes that we've just listed on the market open this weekend.
Great.
It's going to be a great weekend. The weather's changed, and
yeah,
wow, go out and enjoy it.
All right. Thanks, everybody. It's the Venturi Realty Group with Real Broker. We're at 505-448-8888.